All right, Washington Commanders fans, what I have to say today is serious and frankly frustrating. We knew Adam Peters had a tough job ahead of him cleaning up the recruitment mess left by Ron Rivera. But the only way to build a winning team is by nailing the draft. And right now, the class of 2024, which should be the new foundation, is looking anything but solid. And there's one name that symbolizes this failure. Today, we're going to show what hurts the most, but it's necessary. We're going to look at the 5 players we could have chosen for that position and who are succeeding, while our guy doesn't even wear the uniform on game day. Before we look at who we missed, let's understand the size of the disaster called Brandon Coleman. He was the number 67 pick, 3rd round. He was expected to be the immediate starter at left guard, especially after the team made the huge trade for Laramie Tunsil. He was the piece that would make the line work, and he lasted exactly 2 games, 2 weeks. That's all it took for him to be benched and replaced by Chris Paul, who, let's be honest, has proven to be much more confident. But the worst part isn't even going to the bench. The worst part is that Coleman didn't go to the bench as an immediate backup. He's been a healthy scratch. This means that on game day, the coaching staff looks at him and decides it's better to have any other player active in his place. For a 3rd round pick, this is an absolute nightmare. It's a certificate of failure. And while he watches in street clothes, other players chosen after him are shining. The first name, and perhaps the one that hurts the most, is Cooper Beebe. If the Commanders were looking for help on the offensive line, they just had to wait a few picks. Beebe came out of Kansas State and went to the Dallas Cowboys. Yes, our division rival. He's had some injury problems, but his production and long-term outlook are infinitely more stable than Coleman's. Dallas knows what they're doing on the offensive line, and we should have copied them. The Cowboys immediately put him at the center position, replacing Tyler Biadasz, who, ironically, decided to join Dan Quinn here in Washington. And that change has proven to be an absolute success for Dallas. They found a starter. Beebe is an exceptional communicator in the middle of the line, a crushing force in the running game. He still needs refinement in pass protection, but progress is visible. Dallas should be getting him back from the injured list soon, and that will only boost their attack even further. It's painful to see our rival get it right, where we got it badly wrong. But let's say the team didn't like Beebe. There was another clear offensive line option that was chosen shortly after, Matt Goncalves. This player from Pittsburgh went to the Indianapolis Colts with the 79th overall pick and has gradually become a highly consistent starter. The Indianapolis team is performing far above expectations this season, surprising everyone. And one of the main reasons is their dominant offensive line, which keeps the quarterback protected. Like Cooper Beebe, Goncalves' ability to adapt is one of his strengths. The Colts decided to put him at the right guard position, and it paid off immediately. He hasn't suffered a single sack this season. Let me repeat, 0 sacks. And he's only suffered 1 penalty in 383 offensive plays. It's not perfect yet, but he's laid the foundations for a productive career. Meanwhile, our chosen one can't even be active on game day. Okay, maybe the mistake wasn't the player, but the position. Maybe the team shouldn't have drafted an offensive lineman there. Let's look at our secondary, specifically the safety position. Adam Peters made some very bold decisions there. He let Cameron Curl walk without a real offer, brought in Jeremy Chin on a short 1-year deal, and moved Quan Martin to defense. It was a risky bet that, so far, isn't paying off. If the Commanders had used that pick on Callan Bullock, who went to the Houston Texans at pick 78, the story could be very different. Bullock exploded onto the scene as a freshman, racking up 5 interceptions and 54 tackles, earning awards. Things aren't going as well for him this time around, but the same can be said for most Texans defenders, who are in a slump. But his potential is clear. Considering how much we're struggling for consistency at the safety position, the former USC star would have been a valuable asset. And if Callan Bullock doesn't convince you, this next name is going to hurt even more. Washington's secondary was expected to be one of our strengths this year. With everyone healthy and Peters' reinforcements, the hope was for safety and balance. But aside from a few flashes, it's been a major disappointment. They've struggled against more potent passing attacks. The collective just isn't working, and Tyke Smith would have been a much better option than Coleman. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers selected Smith at pick 89, well after Coleman, and are getting an absurd return on investment. His second season is proving to be fantastic. In just 7 games, he's already racked up 7 passes defended, 2 sacks, and 58 tackles. He's everywhere. Smith has the look of a future Pro Bowler. His physical, aggressive style would have fit perfectly into the defense that Dan Quinn wants to build, but we preferred a guard who doesn't play. Finally, let's talk about our biggest need. The Commanders are desperate for young, explosive quarterback hunters. Adam Peters went all in on a veteran strategy for this position in 2025, and it's blown up in our face. Detrick Wise Jr. and Dorrance Armstrong Jr., our starters, are out for the season. Javonte Jean-Baptiste is also on IR. We're out of reliable guys on the edges. And who was available? Jalix Hunt. He went to the Philadelphia Eagles at pick 94. It took a little while, but Hunt is starting to become an asset for them. His snap percentage has climbed to 65% this season. He hasn't recorded a sack yet, but his 21 pressures suggest that he's close. Coming from a small university, he needed time, and he's developing while our pick is regressing. The Eagles got a contributor at a premium position, and we got a dead weight. Hindsight is easy, I know. But when so many players picked right after your pick are contributing, and yours is inactive, that's not bad luck. That's bad evaluation. Adam Peters' 2024 class is on red alert, with Brandon Coleman being the biggest sign of failure. If this frustrates you as much as it frustrates me, the first thing I ask is, leave your like on this video. Show that you care. Now, we have urgent news about Jayden Daniels' injury, but I need you to pay close attention. Coach Dan Quinn's official word on the MRI may sound like good news at first, but in reality, it throws the organization into a terrible dilemma. What to do with our quarterback in Week 8 against the Kansas City Chiefs is the toughest decision of the season, and a wrong choice could cost not just this year, but the future of the franchise. Monday's MRI revealed that Daniels' hamstring injury is not significant. That's what Dan Quinn said. That's a relief, of course, after we saw him limp off the field against Dallas. But here's the problem. Despite it not being significant, Quinn gave no certainty that he'll play on Monday night. He said he'll have a better idea at the end of the week. That means the injury still exists, and the decision to put him on the field is purely up to the coaching staff. And that's why we're so nervous. Daniels has already missed 2 games this season because of that knee injury he suffered in Week 2. He's the 2024 Offensive Rookie of the Year. He's our future. But he's proving to be fragile early in his career. Playing a quarterback who's already hurt, with 2 different injuries in 7 weeks, he's playing with fire. He's only 24 years old, and we need to think about the next 10 years, not just the next game. And the next game isn't just any game, it's against the Kansas City Chiefs. The risk of putting him on the field injured is absurdly high. Kansas City has one of the most aggressive defenses in the league. According to statistics, they're tied for second in the league in quarterback knockout percentage, at 10.9%. That means they're experts at taking the opposing quarterback out of the game. Sending Daniels, already with a bad hamstring, into that situation is almost negligence. So why is Dan Quinn even considering it? The answer is simple. Desperation. We're 3-4. Our playoff chances, according to ESPN, have dropped to just 20.8%. We're in 3rd place in the division. The season is slipping through our fingers. Quinn knows that if he doesn't win on Monday, the chances of the postseason are practically over. He's being pressured to win now. The other option is backup quarterback Marcus Mariota. He's a competent backup, but he's not Daniels. When he started in place of Daniels earlier in the season, he managed 1 win and 1 loss. In 3 games, he has 3 touchdowns and 2 interceptions. He can keep the team afloat, but can he beat Patrick Mahomes in a Monday night football game? Probably not. Quinn knows that Mariota is a likely loss. So here's the dilemma. Does Quinn risk the future of the franchise, our 24-year-old quarterback, against a defense that hurts players, to try to save a season that has a 20% chance of success? Or does he accept the likely loss with Mariota, throw in the towel in Week 8, and protect his most valuable asset? Quinn's decision this week will tell us everything about the priorities of this organization. I want to know what you would do. If you were Dan Quinn, would you play Daniels or protect him? Comment below, play or sit. If you think the future of the franchise is more important than this game, like this video. And if you want to know the final decision as soon as it comes out, subscribe to the channel now. My big question is Daniels' injury not significant the truth? Or is it just information the team is using to keep the Chiefs in the dark while they make the toughest decision of the Dan Quinn era?